Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Friday Podcast with your host, Chris Chaos in the building. Hopefully the audio sounds better. Now I got the phone turned around, hopefully for better sound. Turn that frown upside down. We are blessed to be alive, ladies and gentlemen. Blessed indeed. I just got back from the mall, which was pretty dope. Haven't been to the mall in a long time. Went with my son because we were supposed to go. We were going to go to this car show, but it got canceled. He wanted to buy a hoodie. There was going to be a pop-up from this brand that he likes, and he wanted to get a hoodie there. So that got canceled, so I was like, well, we can go to the mall. We can still go get you a hoodie. I've been trying to convince him to stay in the IB program, which is like honors but above honors. Because, in high school, just like it's tough. It's tough. It's different. It's not the same thing as elementary school. Middle school is different than elementary, and elementary and middle are different than high school. But I told him, anything worth having, it's hard to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, raising a child is hard, but it's worth it. I'm glad I did it. Sometimes keeping a relationship with his mom was difficult. I'm glad I worked at it, and I'm glad I did it because now it's fruitful, and now it helps all parties. So anything worth it, it's going to be hard work. That's what I told him. Because he said he looked at the rubric for IB and all the classes he has to take for the next 4 years. He's like, whoa. I said, you can do it, bro. You can do it. So hopefully he does it. If he doesn't, I can't judge him, but I'm going to be... I just hope he does, because I was in the same IB program and I quit. And I went down a dark path. But that dark path, I ended up back on the light path, so everything happens for a reason. But maybe this was just so I can, because I feel like I wasn't spending enough time with him either. And I was looking at old videos and pictures of when we used to spend more time together when he was younger. And I was like, yo, I need to take advantage of this time too. Start worrying about the past. And also, I want him to stay. So I was like, so we went to the mall. That was pretty dope. I haven't been to the mall in a minute, especially Town East. Shout out to Town East. And it was pretty tight. I felt cool. I had my new shirt on, had my hair did. You know what I'm saying? With my handsome son. And we were getting looks from the chicks, and it was cool. It's interesting because like a lot of things have changed, but a lot of things have stayed the same when it comes to the mall setup. Like, they still got the fake chains and stuff at the little kiosk, but now some kiosks have it used to be Nokia phone cases. Now it's iPhone cases. And man, there was this one store that was it was so aggressive. Like, the music was so loud, and I feel like an old man saying this. Like, the music was loud, it was cussing and shit, and there, the people worked there were rapping on it. Were rapping the lyrics, and I was like, bro, I don't feel comfortable asking anybody for help. Like, what if I get beat up? Because I asked for help. Because we were looking for a shoe. But nah, obviously, they were going to be cool, but it was just like a weird vibe. Like, whoa, dude. And then we passed by a Hot Topic, and of course, that's like the only store I see people wearing masks. So the supposed rebels are wearing the mask. So, making sure the camera's good in the camera. So yeah, very interesting. We went to Macy's. We couldn't find no sweater his size, man. It was very hard to find. This is why people order shit online. But it was dope. It was dope to go. he played this one game that was like $5 for 5 plays where you could win a Super Nintendo, but he was going for this. It was like money, and he was trying to push it into that. And I'm microdosed some psilocybin, so maybe that helped me to like. But just lately, I've been thinking like, man, I need to talk to him. Being a dad of a teenager, especially when you're not there all the time with him, because sometimes you might lose. It's up to the grown up to try to keep hold of the innocence and the love, and not just say, oh, well, they're not little kids anymore, so I'm not gonna try. They're not trying. It's like, now we gotta try even harder. Back then it was easy. But yeah, it's interesting. Good times. You gotta just appreciate when you look back and your kid was a baby, or when you look back and you were a kid and you missed that. I asked him too, I was like, you miss being a kid? He was like, yeah. I was like, well, you don't have to give that innocence up. You can be kid-like still. A lot of times, us adults, we try to get back to that. Because we get rid of it. We try to be cool for a few years, and then we're like, wait a minute. I was happier when I was doing the kid shit, when I was watching cartoons and playing games and stuff. So a lot of times people revert back to the childhood shit because we gave it up to be fucking tools. So yeah. Quite interesting indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see, let's try to do some random questions. If you were captain of a ship, I thought I was gonna say, would you go down with it? And we talked about that before. What would you call it? What does the SS stand for? Because SS sounds bad because of the Nazis. But people use boats. They always say SS. What does SS in boat names mean? DuckDuckGo. Let us know. Why do people use SS in their boat name? It stands for steamship. The meaning behind this tradition is fascinating, it says, but it doesn't say what it is. So SS prefix in boats refers to single screw ships. A single screw ship comes with a single screw propeller. But steamships are obsolete, and article explorer. So I guess it's deep. It's not just a simple answer. Some people say it sailing ship. USS, which means United States ship. Yeah, so there's different meanings. Anyway, so if I had a boat, what would I name it? Well, now I can't use SS. That's what I was gonna say. The SS Chris Chaos. You can't name a boat after yourself. SS Mary Jane. What is a responsibility you have that you don't want? I don't have any of those. Every responsibility I have comes with every great power comes with great responsibility. Responsibilities you have that you don't want. Even the minuscule annoying responsibilities are pretty cool. Like having to shave. Like I guess it would be cool if I had somebody to shave for me, but then I could do that myself. If somebody just came and shaved down here and up here and everywhere. Not everywhere. What is something you want people to remember about you? I want to be remembered as a good dad, as a good brother, and a good man, and a good son. I just want to be a good person. I want people to remember me as he was good, and he was creative, and he helped make people happy. What is your vision for you and your family's future? My vision is that I'm balling out of control. Balling! I want to be rich with my own business, and I want family members to work with me and for me. You know, not necessarily like for me, but with me, but for me. because I want to be the main boss. But I gotta have other bosses and stuff. But we'll all be bosses. Do you stay in your comfort zone most times, or do you constantly push boundaries? Most times, I probably would stay in my comfort zone. But I get uncomfortable very often, and I have to force myself. But I get uncomfortable with the littlest shit, like just going to work sometimes. Like, whoa, this is an uncomfortable situation, but you gotta push through it. Recording sometimes with your friends, and sometimes it gets uncomfortable, and you just gotta push through it. But your boundaries, I don't constantly push boundaries, but I think I try to sometimes. I can be outgoing when I make myself. I can be pretty good at it. But I know it takes like energy. It's like star power. It's like a limited amount. What is your most used phrase? For show. For show. For show. For show. For easy. It ain't crazy that news anchor got fired for saying for shizzle my. For sure. I always say for sure. Do you allow yourself enough spare time to do things you love? If not, why? Yes, I do. I try to. Probably too much time. Like instead of trying to go date or something, I'd rather be at home and be a hermit and work on my art or something. Like if a smart, beautiful woman's just gonna come to my door one day and say, "Hey, you want a date?" Yeah, it's not time. Anyways. Do you think secret clubs exist? And if so, what kind of clubs do you think there are? I think there's all kinds of secret clubs. Secret furry clubs, secret society clubs, secret reading clubs, secret sex clubs, secret all kinds of clubs. Chess clubs, maybe. Do you think prisoners in jail should work so they can earn money for their release? Yeah. But they do work, but they don't really get to earn money and they only get paid a little bit. I mean, the prison industrial complex is a monster, and it is based on racism and the evil side of capitalism, and it can be considered modern day slavery because they're working for very minimal. It's pretty interesting. I took a whole class in a university about prisons, the history of prisons in the United States. Interesting class. It was before I watched Fall of the Cabal, but it was a great class. Even after Fall of the Cabal, it's like, because the prison industrial complex is a thing and it is evil. What's the most unusual thing you've ever eaten? I don't know. Quail was pretty cool, but it's not very unusual. It's not unusual. I don't know. I don't really eat it. I'm kind of picky. So I don't eat a lot of unusual. I guess you could say magic mushrooms. What actor or actress would you want to play you in a movie of your life? Damn. Shia LaBeouf. You play the fuck out of me. You probably play it better than me than I could play it with me. Man, he will kill my partner. Are you the kind of friend you'd want as a friend? Yes. Have you ever tried archery? Not real archery, and I would love to one day. I should try to do that. Or what's a list before bucket list? Because that sounds kind of. If you are a world famous art or jewel thief, what would be your next heist? Well, I wouldn't tell you, would I? What is something nice a neighbor has done for you? Yo, I laugh because I didn't really answer this last question. I don't know what I would steal if I was a famous art thief or jewel thief. I guess the Mona Lisa. I mean, I Let's take an art class. Of course, I took an art class, and I had to take humanities, which kind of went into art. I don't know. My next heist. I don't know. I'm not a thief. I couldn't do it. I'm just reverting to being a good guy. What is something nice a neighbor's done for you? We have a really badass neighbor that hooks it up. She used to hook us up with eggs, and now it's what it is. She's given us homemade bread before. Very nice. All right. Well, I just checked off this question even though I didn't answer it. How do I uncheck it? All right. Moving on. Actually, maybe we'll take a break. We're going to take a break, and then we'll be right with our regular programming, with the angel numbers, the badass woman of her strength, anxiety news. Oh, shout out to House of Chingasos for the shirt. Be right back. Also, we gotta shout out Luis Puente for the beats, for the heat, for the streets. All right. Also, an update of my social media fast from my phone. I downloaded it again because I was gonna try to figure out how to, because I've been experimenting with the iPad and drawing and tracing and sketching and stuff. And I was gonna try to draw everybody from the Odd Squad. So I was trying to download. So I downloaded Instagram to get their pictures, some of their pictures. And as soon as I downloaded it, I started scrolling a little bit because you know it's addictive. And one of the first videos was this crazy video I saw of some dude that was showing these machines, and he was showing human bones, and he was saying they put these human bones in these machines and turn it into powder, which they call calcium something, phosphate, or I don't know, calcium something. And they put that in food. And I was like, yo, this is why I fucking deleted social media. I don't know if that's true, man. It might be fucking fake, it might be fucking real, but I'm like, yo, I did not need to know that. Deleted Instagram off my phone again. I still check it and I still upload stuff. I don't really check it, but I upload stuff. But, you know, if you message me, you know, hit me up on it. I'll still check it eventually. Alright, angel number of the week. 878. Sunsigns.org says the ministering angels for number 8, meaning that they want you to stop pushing yourself to the edge. You are on the verge of losing it. Choose your health and work less. The number 8 is of patience. It means waiting for an uncertain outcome without complaining. Numerologynation.com says that 878 is all about positive energies, life choices, soul support, relationship with others, and developing more substantial spiritual practice. This number will give you a chance to harness your empathic and psychic abilities in your interpersonal relationships, but hopefully that's just the start. Angelnumber.org says, now you can go to any of these websites to read the full description, because these are just previews. Angelnumber.org says 878. If your angel number is 878, then you try to live life with full intensity. Each new situation that comes their way is seen as a challenge that must be faced. I guess people who have that number, that's the number they see all the time. On the other hand, they stand out for having a very brave character, since they are not a bit afraid of the dangers of life. Poltastic.com says that 878 is a highly spiritual number that carries the energies of abundance, good fortune, and inner strength. It often appears in times of great need or change as a sign that help is on the way. 878 is made up of the vibrations and energies of 8 and 7. Ministry of Numerology says it is a sign that angels offer guidance, support, and assistance as you work toward achieving your goals. This number encourages you to have faith in yourself and trust that the universe provides all the necessary resources to help you manifest your heartfelt desires and dreams. The Secret of the Tarot.com says angel number 878 calls on you to listen to your intuition. This will come in handy when you find yourself at crossroads. If you're feeling confused and unsure of how to proceed, listen to what your heart is saying. With the guidance of your angels, you can never go wrong. I was just thinking that I was telling my son, like, when he was young, I went into debt, like, buying him. I used to get him a lot of cool toys, like, for instance, these Mario plush toys I got, and I talked about last week about, so Leo was trying to come into our room through the window. We had like all the Angry Bird ones, and we would get figures, Sonic figures, Mario Bros figures, Lego set, you know, and I kind of couldn't afford it, but I put myself in debt a bit, and I was like, you know what? These are kind of like your new toys, clothes and shoes and name brand glasses, because he wants some Versace shit. And I was like, you know, but you gotta stay in the program. Keep grades up. So pray for me. If you feel like praying, if you're a praying person, pray for me and my boy. And for his mom and everybody that we love. I'll probably always pray for everybody that, you know, that cares for him, and, you know, also, you know, send out the prayers and positive energy to all the people who are fans and support the show. Alright, next. I was looking up some certain beetles, and I was trying to look up stink bugs, and then I ended up finding box elder bugs, which I've seen before, and I didn't know what the fuck they were called. They're like black with orange stripes. And so I looked it up, and on symbolsandsynchronicity.com, it says, creatures that emerge in the spring are symbols of new life, rebirth, and eternal life. Personal reflection will be required to determine what this means for you. Question yourself. Have you been struggling with a difficult time, symbolized by winter? And perhaps it is time for you to emerge from those dark days and to embrace the bounty of spring. However, taking the box elder's black color as an omen of something evil or morbid would be a mistake. I guess whenever you look at a spirit animal or something like that, sometimes the color has meaning. This is because the box elder bug is a springtime critter, and as such, its association with life overrides any negativity you might connect with the color black. All you haters who try to think that black is bad. Furthermore, in the West, we also associate black with some positive things like elegance and sophistication. Like, you know, suit and tie, or black suit and tie. Additionally, in Japan, black creatures are seen as guardians. This is because they have the ability to absorb evil spirits, thereby protecting us. This belief is often displayed in Japanese koi ponds. While koi fish are known for their bright colors, few Japanese koi ponds lack at least one black koi. This is because the black koi is believed to prevent its pond mates from falling ill, the belief being that evil spirits cause illness. Finally, whenever black comes to you and feels significant, you consider outstanding shadow work. Are there issues with your personal and spiritual development that need to be addressed? So think about yourself and how you can become more contented. If you can resolve past issues, you'll feel better. While black might be a box elder's majority color, the contrasting orange, I have an orange color, I just spilled out, boom, catches the eye first. So we cannot ignore its importance. Orange, between yellow and red, So it combines some of the meanings of each of its parents' primary colors while also having a significance of its own. But in the context of a springtime bug, what yellow brings to orange should take priority over red, according to symbolsandsynchronicity.com. Orange is, more than anything else, a warm color. Consider this: as the box elder bug emerges, so does the warmth, i.e. spring and soon summer are returning. So consider the importance of warmth and comfort. Also, orange is known as a symbol of joy. So naturally, embrace joy whenever and wherever you can. It could be that the box elder bug has presented itself to you to simply remind you to be fucking happy. They're pretty whimsical and cute bugs, so why not a message of happiness? I don't know about that, being cute bugs. Also, orange stands for creativity. Could it be in a phase that you are in a phase of your life where creativity could be key? Where to direct your creativity will require reflection. For example, it could be that creativity is required to work to advance your career. Alternatively, your mood could be suffering from a lack of creative endeavors, in which case consider picking up a creative hobby. So could it be that your sacral chakra is blocked? There are several steps you can take to unblock your sacral chakra. Repeat positive affirmations. Focus on sensuality and creativity when reciting your affirmations. Also consider your connection to water. Going for a swim or taking a bath is super simple and satisfying way you can address issues with your sacral chakra. And last of all, try out some yoga postures that help stabilize the sacral chakra. It's important to know that the orange of your box elder bug wasn't always orange. In fact, box elder nymphs start out red. So let's consider the color red. Red, like black, is associated with power, but it is also associated with love and hate. So what connects love and hate? Passion. Therefore, we have to take red as a color that communicates very strong passions. Interesting. Very interesting. Let's see what's next. Alright, so I have this dream repeatedly. It's a dream about crossing the border from here to Mexico. And sometimes it's on a bus, sometimes we're driving. There's a lot of, one time we got stopped. And that's probably why it's in my subconscious. One time we got stopped when we were coming. So my car was new, it had paper plates. And we were coming from El Paso. And there's a lot of border security around the area, around the border. And so even though we never even left the country, there was border patrol just in case somebody got missed. And so they pulled us over. Like my dad was like, "Yo, I always get pulled over." And that's what he said. Then we had the new car, and then supposedly the dog smelled my bag. They said we had something. I didn't have nothing, but maybe the bags could have smelled them, whatever. So anyway, but they didn't have nothing, and we got to go. But it was pretty interesting. And then my sister was like, "Yo, I'm gonna record," and they're like, "Nah, you probably shouldn't record." I'm like, "Why can't I record?" And it was just, I was like, "Oh, just chill the fuck out, just relax." And then they asked me, "It's like, do you smoke?" And I was like, I think they said, "Do you smoke cigarettes?" And I was like, "No." And they was like, "Why are you lying? You know you smoke cigarettes." And I was like, "No, I don't smoke cigarettes anymore." It was, oh my God, it was, so that was probably very traumatic, more than I realized. And that was just a few years ago. My son was little. So I have dreams of crossing the border now, sometimes. Dreamglossary.com. But I can't be the only one because they have these excerpts. So dreaming of crossing the border means that you are not giving up on your intention. You start doubting your abilities and questioning yourself at the end of some tasks often. The reason for it is too big. The reason for it is a too big desire for success that leads to quick satiation, which results in neglecting your obligations and their postponement. Heavy activations. DreamEncyclopedia.net says a border can appear in many different ways in a dream. To have our attention drawn to the edge or border of material can indicate changes we will make in the material world. To be standing on a border between two countries would show the need to be making great changes in life, perhaps physically moving our place of residence. I don't think that's what mine's about, but dreamaboutmeaning.com says dream about crossing the border denotes your sense of time management. You are stagnant state. You want others to know exactly who you are. It is a clue for a conflict with your subconscious. It is time to release past grudges and build on future relationships. CheckMyDream.com says that crossing the border in a dream means that attempts to overcome the difficulties that have arisen will be crowned with success. The interpretation of the dream about the border depends on the actions of the dreamer, the type and purpose of the boundary itself. So, going outside the city line speaks to the need to get out of the comfort zone. Whoa, so going out to another country is like a whole, like my dad came to another country when he was like, 18. It's like it's totally out of a comfort zone. I couldn't do that, but probably in regular day situations, I should probably step out of my comfort zone more. Dreamsopedia.com says dreams about crossing border indicate fertility and the womb. So often do so many things symbolize fertility. I'm not sure why. You are seeking for spiritual enlightenment and guidance, or you're open-minded about the new journey or phase in your life. This dream is sometimes fertility, growth, and openness. It is important to pay attention to the minor details and not to overlook certain things. Globe-views.com says to cross the border illegally in a dream reflects worries about performing a dishonest action. To leave on a business assignment abroad warns that you have to be aware of competitors who prepare mischief. To cross the border without documents in the dream signifies that you are drawn to adventure. Or it could be simply just you got pulled over one time at the border and you're traumatized. All right, let's take a break. And we'll come back with anxiety news. Yeah, news. Boom. We have return of the man. Song goes hard as fuck. Pardon me. Shout out to Louis P. Yo, the original. Let me pull up the original. I mean, the one that we recorded. Man, hold up. Please wait a second. I'm going to keep going. out of there. Too faded, too elevated to try to flow. Man, hold up. All the haters know that I'm so cold, that I'm so ill. Man, hold up. What's the deal? Might get thrown, might pop a pill. Not really, man. All I do now is chill. Might smoke some. Green like dill. Pickle, man. Alright. What am I even looking for? Trying to find the song, but now it doesn't matter because I already rapped on it. Alright, let's get into anxiety news, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. Anxiety news about anxiety with your host, Chaos. Today we will be discussing. So according to foxnews.com, sniffing body odor from sweat could reduce social anxiety. New research suggests smelling chemo signals from sweat combined with mindfulness therapy eased anxiety in women, according to some fucking study somebody did. So it says, smelling other people's sweat might not seem like a desirable activity, yet a new study from Sweden suggests that exposure to body odor could be an alternative therapy for social anxiety. The study's findings were presented at the European Congress of Psychiatry, held from August 25th to the 28th in Paris, France. This study is part of a larger EU-funded project, POTION, which stands for Promoting Social Interaction Through Emotional Body Odors. Coordinated by the University of Pisa, P-I-S-A. Interesting. Eliza Vigna, the lead researcher from the Karolinska Institute in Stockholm, Sweden, said at the conference that when people are in a certain state of mind and then sweat, the perspiration includes certain molecules or chemo signals that convey their emotional state and elicit corresponding responses in those who smell it. The results of our preliminary studies show that combining these chemo signals with mindfulness therapy, oh snap, why did it move? Seems to produce better results in treating social anxiety than can be achieved by mindfulness therapy alone. Vigna also noted during the presentation in Paris. The researchers collected sweat from volunteers who watched clips from movies to induce emotion. Still kind of confused. Next, 48 women who were experiencing social anxiety were exposed to different odors, some of which included the sweat samples, along with mindfulness therapy. The sweat samples used in the study are odorless. They are not perceived by the participants as unpleasant or with that distinctive and familiar smell of sweat, Vigna told Fox News Digital in an email. We found that the women in the group exposed to sweat from people who had been watching funny or fearful movies responded better to mindfulness therapy than those who hadn't been exposed. Vigna explained at the conference. Whoa, I just thought about a topic for the Odd Pod. Mindfulness. Specifically, those who engage in mindfulness therapy along with exposure to body odors had about 39% lower anxiety compared to a 17% reduction in the participants who only had one is therapy. Almost double. Let's see. Mindfulness. This is a list from, yeah. Sweat produced with emotion has anxiety reducing effect. Oh, that's just like a title thing. Vigna said that the research team was surprised to find it didn't matter which emotions the people experienced while producing the sweat. Sweat produced while someone was happy had the same effect as someone who had been scared by a movie clip. So there may be something about human chemo signals in sweat generally that affects the response to treatment. Dr. Mark Siegel, clinical professor of medicine at NYU Langone Medical Center and a Fox News medical contributor, told Fox News Digital that smells trigger the limbic system of the brain, which either triggers strong emotions or calms you, depending on the scent. It may also trigger calming memories. I suspect it is the salty fragrance of armpit odor that elicits the response, connecting to a primitive emotion, he said. While Vigna said the results of the study were interesting and promising, more research is needed to confirm the findings. That means more people smelling more sweat. Disgusting. The project is ongoing and we are performing a larger clinical study, she told Fox News Digital. Moreover, the University of Pisa is working to identify the chemicals responsible for the observed effects. Also, given the exploratory nature of the study, the researchers used a relatively small sample size comprised of only young women. Future studies will need to assess the replicability of the results with a larger target population, Vigna said. Very interesting. So, what I took from that is that also when we sweat, and it sucks, but it's also trying to help us. It causes more anxiety though. You start sweating and shit, but I guess when you start smelling, I guess it's better just try to smell it and maybe it'll help calm you down. Maybe that's why in that movie that was based off that Saturday Night Live clip, where it's Superstar, maybe, where she would be like, when I get nervous, I put my hands in my armpits and I just smell them. That was a crazy movie. A crazy time. It was called Superstar. She'd be like, Superstar. Alright, so hopefully next week we'll get back to being able to do the anxiety news on the other part of the room and movie review on the other side of the room. I just don't feel like moving around at the moment. So, fuck it, let's keep going. This is another movie that my son used to watch a lot. Last week I did Rio. This week, B movie. Came out in 2007. It's a computer animated comedy film produced by DreamWorks. Shout out to DreamWorks Animation. Again, see, DreamWorks been killing it, low key. Pixar, has everybody talks about Pixar, but DreamWorks, they got Puss in Boots, they got Shrek, they got B movie, they got Rio. Yo, let's keep it real. Produced, directed by Simon J. Smith and Steve Heckner. From a screenplay by Jerry Seinfeld, Spike Feresten, Barry Martyr, and Andy Robbins. Stars the voices of Seinfeld, Renee Zellweger, John Goodman, and Chris Rock. The film centers on Barry B. Benson, which is Seinfeld, a honeybee who tries to sue the human race for exploiting bees after learning from his new florist friend, Vanessa Bloom, which Zellweger that humans sell and consume honey. Crazy idea for a movie, but it was pretty cool. It debuted in New York City on October 25th, 07. Was released in theaters in the United States on November 2nd. Upon its release, it received mixed reviews from critics who praised its humor and voice cast, but criticized the plot. The film, I mean, it's a kid movie. Like, what the fuck are they criticizing? It's a kid movie. The film was a box office success. They have to write about something. It grossed $293.5 million worldwide, and it cost $150 million to make. It's since gathered a cult following, partly driven by memes of the film shared on social media. Interesting. Let's see. This is a plot. I'm not gonna really get into the plot, but it's all right. A little bit. Let's see. Barry B. Benson is an idealistic honeybee who has the ability to talk to humans. He recently graduated from college and is about to enter the hive's Hunex Industries honey making workforce with his best friend Adam Flayman. He's initially excited to join the workforce, but his ambitious, insubordinate attitude emerges upon discovering that his choice of job will never change once picked. Later, the two bees run into a group of pollen jocks, bees who collect pollen from flowers outside the hive. And they offer to take Barry with them to see if he is bee enough. While on his first pollen gathering expedition in New York City, Barry gets lost in the rain and ends up on the balcony of a human florist named Vanessa Bloom. Upon noticing Barry, Vanessa's boyfriend Ken attempts to squash him, but Vanessa gently catches and releases Barry outside the window, saving his life. I haven't seen it so long, but describing, I'm like, yeah, I remember all this. It's crazy. He expresses his gratitude to Vanessa, breaking the sacred rule that bees are not to communicate with humans. Barry and Vanessa develop a close friendship, bordering on attraction, and spend time together. When he and Vanessa are in the grocery store, that was kind of weird, because I think he was like in love with her. He discovers that humans have been stealing and eating the bees' honey for centuries. He decides to journey to honey farms, which supplies the grocery store with its honey. Incredulous at the poor treatment of the bees in the hive, including the use of bee smokers to incapacitate the colony, Barry decides to sue the human race to put an end to exploitation of the bees, with Vanessa agreeing to help. His mission attracts wide attention from bees and humans alike, with countless spectators attending the trial. Although Barry is up against tough defense attorney Leighton T. Montgomery, the trial's first day goes well. That evening, Barry is having dinner with Vanessa when Ken shows up. Vanessa leaves the room and Ken expresses to Barry that he hates the pair spending time together. When Barry leaves to use the restroom, Ken ambushes Barry and attempts to kill him, only for Vanessa to intervene and break up with Ken. The second day at the trial, Montgomery unleashes an unrepentant character assassination against the bees, leading a deeply offended Adam to sting him. Montgomery immediately exaggerates the stinging to make himself seem the victim of an assault, while simultaneously tarnishing Adam. Adam's actions jeopardize the bee's credibility and his life, though he recovers. Third day, Barry wins the trial by exposing the jury to the torturous treatment of bees, particularly the use of the smoker, and prevents humans from stealing honey from the bees ever again. Having lost the trial, Montgomery cryptically warns Barry that a negative shift of nature is imminent. With Hunex stopping honey production, every bee is put out of a job, including the vitally important pollen jocks, resulting in all the world's flowers beginning to die out without any pollination. Before long, the last remaining flowers on Earth are being stockpiled in Pasadena, California, in tent for the last Tournament of Roses parade. Barry and Vanessa travel to the parade and steal a float, which they load into a plane. They hope to bring the flowers to the bees so they can repollinate the world's last remaining flowers. When the plane's pilot and co-pilot both fall unconscious, Vanessa is forced to land the plane with help from Barry and the bees from Barry's hive. Barry becomes a member of the pollen jocks and they fly off to a flower patch armed with the pollen of the last flowers. Barry and the pollen jocks reverse the damage and save the world's flowers, restarting the bees' honey production. Later on, Barry runs a law firm at Vanessa's flower shop titled Insects at Law, which handles disputes between animals and humans. While selling flowers to customers, Vanessa offers certain brands of honey that are bee approved. Let's see. Chris Rock plays a mosquito that bee meets on the window on the highway. Oprah Winfrey is the judge, Bumbleton. John Goodman is the lawyer. He's like a Southern lawyer. I say. Larry King is B. Larry King. He's like a B version of himself. John DiMaggio is bailiff and janitor. John DiMaggio, he came up. Ray Liotta is himself. I forgot Ray Liotta's in it. Sting is himself. Who else? That's all I know in here. Larry Miller is Dean Buswell. So, production. Development of the B movie began when Steven Spielberg approached DreamWorks and co-founder Jeffrey Katzenberg after Jerry Seinfeld asked him to make an animated film featuring insects. Production of the film began in 2003. Seinfeld spent a week in LA working on it. Teleconferencing system HP Halo was installed in Seinfeld's office in New York, enabling him to work on the film and interact between coasts. Seinfeld said he chose New York because it was, quote, the Tigris and Euphrates of comedy. With his humor, and Katzenberg was the main reason for making the film. Overall, the budget was approximately $150 million. Steven Spielberg was in 2 live-action trailers of the film in November of 2006 and early 2007 when he interacted with Seinfeld, who wore a bee costume. Interesting. I think I vaguely remember that. Let's see, the release. 2007 was when I graduated. Class of 2007. So it's perfect timing for, like, my son was born in 2008. You know, this movie was on DVD. We had it. We used to, my mom used to buy a lot. My mom and my dad used to get DVDs and stuff. Unfortunately, I was a weed head and I sold so many DVDs. I feel bad about it now, but it happens. Let's see. It talks about the DVD. It was released with American Gangster and Martian Child. I saw American Gangster. I should probably do that movie review. That was badass. It completed its theatrical run in the U.S. and Canada on Valentine's Day of 2008. My son still wasn't born yet. But his mom has an approval rating of 49 based on a bunch of professional reviews. Haters. Even Roger Ebert is a hater. Years after the film's release, because of some the internet meme, people started getting it. 2 lawsuits follow the film's release. A group of Swedish animation students who were represented by an American attorney sued because their concept developed in 2000 titled Bee-Balon had similarities to B-Movie. A separate suit was brought by Florida-based cosmetics company Beeceuticals over the use of their trademark phrase, "Give bees a chance." Both of these lawsuits were rejected. Thank goodness, because those are dumb lawsuits. Seinfeld expressed no interest in making a sequel to B-Movie through its online popularity. So yeah, it was a good movie, man. I give it at least 4 because but I have a bias about something like that. But I think it had a good message. I think that kind of set off the whole bee movement, where now you hear that Morgan Freeman has like a bee farm, and everybody's like the bees, save the bees. I think that movie actually had a lot to do with it, which is pretty tight. All right, badass woman. So I saw that was a bad. Hold on. Badass woman that has strength. Now I saw this book at the school I work at in the library. It was a damaged book, but it said damaged by water. I think rain was leaking, and it was called Angel of Goliad, and it had like a Hispanic woman in the front. I was like, oh, this is interesting. So I took a picture. Francita Alaves, born 1816, passed about 1906. Those are both, it says circa 1816, so I guess those are guesses. She was known as the Angel of Goliad for saving the lives of Texas prisoners of war in the Goliad Massacre and at Copano and Victoria, Texas, by interceding on their behalf and persuading the help of Mexican officials. Her husband, Captain Telesforo Alaves, led the Mexicans in the Copano and Victoria region under General Jose de Urrea. Her early life. Francita's definite date and town of birth are not known. Even her real name has been referred to differently at times, such as Panchita, Francisca, Pancheta, or Franquita. And her surname as Alevesco, Alvarez, or Alaves. Texas Revolution. During the Texas Revolution, she did travel to Texas in 1836 as a companion of her husband, Captain Telesforo Alaves, who had sailed to Texas from Matamoros, Mexico, to El Copano port at Copano Bay, Texas. At El Copano, she combined her compassion for humanity with her strong-willed personality to influence important Mexican officials to treat the Texan prisoners humanely. When 80 soldiers of Major William Parsons Miller and the Nashville Battalion were captured by Urrea soldiers, she influenced the Mexican soldiers to untie the man's hands and give them something to eat. In La Bajia, or Goliad, due to the intervention of this Angel of Goliad and the courageous effort of Colonel Francisco Garay, 20 more men were held and spared as doctors, interpreters, or workers. Francita, or Franquita, entered the presidio the night before the massacre, bringing several men out with her and hiding them until after the Goliad massacre. She also made sure the 80 men from Miller's group were not executed. In Victoria, where her husband was left in charge, she saw to it that 26 Texan builders and workers there would be released and not executed. Aftermath. After the defeat of Santa Ana, Franquita returned with Captain Alaves to Matamoros. At the prison in Matamoros, she continued to support the Texians imprisoned there. When Captain Alaves left for Mexico City, Franquita went with him, but their relationship soon ended. She then left Mexico City and returned to Matamoros. While broke and down on her luck, she was befriended by Texians who knew of her humanitarian acts. The 1936 memoirs of Elena O'Shea, a King Rancher schoolteacher, claimed that Francita Alaves traveled back to Texas with her new friends, where she was employed to work on the ranch. Yo. The Angel of Goliad. Oh, can't be sad about that. And this, we come to the end. Let's see, what should I freestyle? Let's get that one. Again, man, I gotta shout out to Louis P. I'm gonna be recording some new stuff on these beats pretty soon. Look out for that heat. Now this one's from Joker. Shout out to Joker. Hard to freestyle too. You gotta rap real fast. Fly like a plane, drift like a train. Man, what it do? I'ma go insane. Smoking on that what, Mary Jane. Haters talk shit, but they just complain. I'ma cause pain to your whole campaign. People be like, what, man? That's Kane. Formerly known as Little X. Now I'm the best, not XO, but the rest gon' understand when I come through that I'm the man. Y'all got to understand that I'ma come through and rip the right like a motherfucking 100 million grams. Niggas talk shit, but they don't understand. Man, I'm the best. Man, like the rest. People talk shit, but they need to give a rest. Cause they must confess that they all stay blessed when they listen to the rest. Chris Chaos on the mic, way off. People take flight from the fright. It's alright. Yeah, that's fucked. I fucked up. Try that. You know, this one, that's gonna be it, this might be easier. Thank y'all for watching. Please like, subscribe, share. You know, show that you care. Put one up in the air. Man, I'm rolling. I'm patrolling. Car definitely not stolen. Arms not swollen. But I'm colding. When it comes to these rhymes, every time that I spit, it's like a motherfucking crime. Cause these bars so hot. People think that they rock. Straight out from the bank. But I let you know, man, I fucked up. Y'all stink. With an empty tank. I'm about to pull rank. Fuck what you all think. Cause I'm puffing on dank. Hopefully it don't stink. But I know it's loud. Gotta stay proud. Fuck everybody, even if it's against the whole crowd. Man, trying to make my fans proud and loud. I don't know that. You guys, it's very hard to freestyle sometimes. But I think that's okay. I think I did decent enough. This is probably one of the easiest beats to freestyle. This is the last of this. Third time's a charm. Yeah. Hey, yo, I'm vibing, got the psilocybin, and I'm riding. Yo, I'm in space, it's the outer. People talk that shit, they got powder. But I'm like, nah, I got the power to say no. Man, I go so cold, even without the snow, without the hose. Without the gats, people talk shit,
Always gotta say that, cause I cannot forget. I can't pull a clip, but I pray to God that I never get robbed. But it's not like I got a lot of shit, so I don't squab. And I'm chilling with the squad, and I keep it so odd. Shout out to the iPod. Keep it so, yeah, that's it, man. That's it, man. I'm tired, y'all. Hopefully y'all enjoyed. I love y'all. See y'all on the next one.